Paul begins by recalling Israel's history in the wilderness, showing how they experienced God's provision and presence. Moreover, brethren, I do not want you to be unaware that all our fathers were under the cloud, all passed through the sea, all were baptized into Moses in the cloud and in the sea. Despite these spiritual privileges, including eating the same spiritual food and drinking from the rock, which symbolized Christ, many still fell into sin and faced God's judgment. Paul warns that their downfall serves as an example. Now these signs became our examples, to the intent that we should not lust after evil things as they also lusted. He highlights specific sins that led to their destruction, including idolatry, sexual immorality, testing Christ, and complaining. These stories are written as warnings so that believers do not fall into the same patterns of disobedience. Paul reminds the Corinthians that while temptation is common, God always provides a way out. No temptation has overtaken you except such as is common to man, but God is faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you are able, but with the temptation will also make the way of escape, that you may be able to bear it. Paul then calls for decisive action. Therefore, my beloved, flee from idolatry. He reminds them that partaking in the Lord's Supper symbolizes unity with Christ, just as Israel's sacrifices were acts of worship. He warns them not to participate in pagan rituals, as idolatry aligns them with demonic forces. You cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of demons. You cannot partake of the Lord's table and of the table of demons. Paul urges them not to provoke the Lord's jealousy by compromising their faith. Returning to the theme of Christian liberty, Paul acknowledges, all things are lawful for me, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful for me, but not all things edify. He encourages them to seek the well-being of others rather than simply exercising their personal freedom. Paul advises that if food has been sacrificed to idols, believers should eat it with a clear conscience, unless it causes another to stumble. Rather than being enslaved by legalistic concerns, believers are to act in love and consideration for others. Paul concludes with a guiding principle for all Christian conduct. Therefore, whether you eat or drink, or whatever you do all to the glory of God. He urges them to avoid offense and to imitate him as he imitates Christ.